If you've been wanting to start a YouTube channel and you've spent any amount of time watching other creators talk about how to do it, there's a good chance that you've heard one word that quietly killed your spirit.
Maybe you heard it once and it raised your eyebrow. Or maybe you heard it so many times that it started to feel like a permanently closed door. That word is transformation. Like if you don't have a dramatic achievement to share, that's it. You're not getting in. You're rejected. And if you don't have a realistic way to get one, your dream is over. No YouTube for you.
And that was us for a long time. But now looking back, we wonder how many channels never got started because of that word. You know, how many people never found the help that they were looking for, because someone like you or us, we let that one word stop us completely.
Now, if you've been with us through this series, you know that we don't shy away from the real stuff.
Nope.
We tackle the doubts and the fears and the hard stuff that keeps you stuck from starting your channel. So if you're just joining us, welcome. I'm Kay.
And I'm Brian. And this here is video 4 in our series, Goodbye Hesitation, Hello Creation, where Kay and I tackle the real mindset blocks that kept us from starting this channel right here.
For over a year.
Yes. And if you're feeling stuck right now in your journey, we have a free guide that we've linked to below in the description that will help you get past the hard stuff like Kay said earlier.
But we're talking about a block today that really, it's a mindset block that really almost took us out. It was
really
pretty
did.
serious.
It really did. But we didn't let it. And we're not going to let it take you out either.
And that's because the word transformation, it deserves a more in-depth conversation than it's been getting. One that we wish we'd found, but we couldn't.
That's true. Here's what we want you to think about for a moment. How long have you been letting that word transformation tell you that you don't qualify to start a channel, one that could help other people?
Because every day that you spend believing you need a big achievement before you can start, that's a day that your channel doesn't exist. And that just shouldn't be. You have so much that's worth sharing. And you shouldn't let a word that was never really fully explained convince you that you don't. And today we're going to tackle it. We're going to help you with that.
Yes, we are. When Kay and I first started learning how to build a YouTube channel, we kept hearing the same message repeated over and over. And that message was, build your channel around your transformation.
And at first that was confusing to us.
Very much so.
But we figured out pretty quickly that transformation was being used as a synonym for achievement. Something impressive, like a before and after that would make people sit up and take notice.
Yes. And we looked at each other and asked, is that really the only way in? Because we didn't have that. We hadn't, achieved anything dramatic or impressive in the niche that we wanted to build our channel around.
And maybe you haven't either. And it's worrying you that all you see are other creators with these ultimate transformations, like they're essential. And without one, you start to feel like you are standing in front of that permanently closed door that I mentioned earlier.
That's true. And that's exactly where we were too.
And here's the part that was even more confusing. The creators telling us that we needed a transformation hadn't started with one either.
At least not in this space.
True, not in this space.
They had built their authority one video at a time, gradually, imperfectly, just like we're hoping to do.
Yeah, but because they were many years, and millions of views ahead of us, we trusted them completely.
Yes.
So when they talked about building content around an impressive transformation, but barely touched on what to do if you didn't have one, it wasn't just confusing us, it was frustrating to us.
It was very frustrating. I mean, they mentioned being a step or two ahead of your viewer, but never described what that looked like if you hadn't, achieved something dramatic.
So we were left feeling like we were caught between two messages that didn't quite add up. And that word transformation sat right in the middle of that confusion.
Yeah, it reminded us of like a bouncer behind a velvet rope who, decided who gets to come in and who doesn't.
And we were not on the right side of that velvet rope, let me tell you.
Not at all. So what did we do? We did what a lot of other people do. We kept watching videos. We kept consuming the content. We kept telling ourselves that eventually someone would explain what to do if you hadn't had a big transformation yet.
And it seemed like we were looking for permission.
Yeah.
And we kept not finding it.
Yeah.
And here's what we've come to understand. When experienced creators talk about transformation as achievement, they're not wrong. They're speaking to people who have succeeded.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. But what that does is that leaves a very specific person without a roadmap. The one who is ready to start a channel, but doesn't yet have a dramatic achievement to point to. The one wondering if there's even a place for them. And that's who Kay and I are speaking to. And we want you to hear this very clearly. There is absolutely a place for you. There always was.
Waiting for that permission wasn't going to get us where we wanted to be, and it won't get you there either. What we finally realized is that our understanding of that word was simply wrong. We were absolutely wrong. We had interpreted it to mean an ultimate achievement, a success big enough to prove you'd earned your place.
Yeah. But here's what was quietly happening while we were searching. Something, it was something that we completely missed. And that is that every video we watched, it was teaching us something.
And every conversation that we had about starting our channel, that was shifting something in how we thought.
Yeah, true. Every moment of doubt that Kay and I had to work through, it was changing us in some small but real way.
So what we didn't realize was that we were actually experiencing transformations the whole time. We just didn't recognize them as transformations because they weren't dramatic. They were quiet, gradual, mini transformations. We just didn't see them that way yet.
That's true. And, we think that's true for a lot of people watching this right now. You've been changing too through every video that you've watched, every note that you've taken. Every time that you've taken a step forward, you stumbled, yet you kept going anyway.
Because a transformation isn't just an ultimate achievement. It's any experience that shifts how you think, that teaches you something new, changes your perspective, even in the smallest way.
That means that even a failure is a transformation because a failure teaches you something that no success ever could.
That means a year of doubt and searching is transformation. That's what we went through. Because working through that changes you in ways that matter and makes you exactly the right person to help someone who is standing right where you are or once were.
And that means that a season of uncertainty, of not knowing where you fit in or how to begin, that in itself is a transformation because surviving that makes you exactly the right person, to help someone else.
And here's what that means for your channel. Every step you've taken, forward or backward, is content. Every lesson you learn the hard way is something someone else is trying to figure out. And they're going to end up learning about it the hard way unless they find you first.
Good point.
Every moment of confusion you've worked through is clarity that someone else is desperately searching for.
That's true. And the transformation was never a requirement you had to meet before you started your channel. It was always the material that you were already gathering, whether you knew it or not. And so here's something that we would like for you to do after this video. Think about one thing that you've been discounting as possible content.
Like a mistake that you made and recovered from, or a process you figured out the hard way. Or maybe it's a fear that you work through.
Maybe.
Write it down, just one thing, and don't overthink it. That's important.
That's right. And once you write it down, take a good look at it and then ask yourself, is there someone out there who hasn't yet reached, where you are right now, who would find value in what you know?
Mm-hmm.
And we think you already know the answer. But that right there, that answer, that's your starting point.
Mm-hmm.
That is where your channel begins.
Mm-hmm. And we know that feels vulnerable to put your experiences out there into the world,
Mm-hmm.
especially the messy, still figuring it out ones. We're there, we know.
I was going to say, we all have that.
Mm-hmm. But think about what becomes possible when you do.
Yeah.
Someone finds your video at exactly the right moment, and they think to themselves after they watch it, finally, someone who gets it, somebody understands what I'm going through. And then they come back for the next one, and then the one after that. And eventually they reach out to you because they trust you.
That's true. And that trust is not built on some, impressive achievement.
Mm-hmm.
It's built on honestly sharing your journey, the one that you're actually on, right where you are at that moment. And that kind of trust, it builds something that lasts
Mm-hmm.
with your viewers.
Very true. I think looking back, the word transformation stopped us for far too long.
Far too long, yeah.
Not because we didn't have anything worth sharing, but because we were measuring ourselves against a definition that was never quite right.
That's true. I mean, we had transformations happening all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We just didn't recognize them as transformations.
Like the confusion, the over-searching, the gradual mindset shifts. Every single one of them were transformations.
And the same is true for you.
Mm-hmm.
The lesson that you learned the hard way, the problem that you finally worked through, the fear that you're still in the middle of,
mm-hmm.
or you finally overcame.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier we said that was content, and it is,
mm-hmm.
but it's also a connection that you make with your viewers.
Yes.
And creating a bond that will last for a long time.
And there are so many people who are craving that right now.
It's true. They really are. And, you don't need a dramatic transformation to belong on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
You just need the willingness to share what you've been through or what you're going through right now. So don't let one word stand between you and the people who need you any longer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And think about what just happened here. You probably came into this video with one understanding of transformation, but you're leaving with a completely different one. That shift in how you think, that change in your perspective, that is a transformation.
Yeah. And you just had one.
Our next video takes everything from this series and brings it all home. Because knowing that your mini transformations count is one thing, but actually recognizing the specific value of what you have to share, that is something else entirely.
That's very true. That's very true. So please start noticing those mini transformations.
Absolutely.
For what they are. Transformations. Because they're adding up.
Mm-hmm.
And stick around for our next video because, we want to be able to share some more that's happening in our journey. So until then,
bye for now.